Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's tutorial is just going to be a recap of my crochet cup cozy that I use for my coffee cups. This is one of my cups that I saved from my favorite Dunkin' Donuts. If you don't go to Dunkin' Donuts, you can do Starbucks. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just a Dunkin' Donuts coffee drinker. But yeah, so we are going to, this is going to be a tutorial on how to, like a little recap on how I make my cup cozy. And you will be needing a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, 2 different skeins of yarn. I'm using the black and purple ones that I have in my stash left over, darning needle, and some scissors. And if you are having hand trouble like I am using my carpal tunnel gloves to keep my hands from breaking. So first we're going to start off by taking our 2 colors. This tutorial is going to be doing double-stranded, but if you want to do single-stranded, you can do that as well. It'll just be with some different yarn, different hook size. It's entirely up to how you want to make this, but I'm doing this double-stranded. So we're going to make a slip knot, and we're just going to insert our hook and bring the loop up. And so now you'll just start chaining. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And you can just keep on chaining until you reach a good amount. I usually do 26 chains in general to start off my project for the cup cozy. So you're just keep on chaining until you reach a desired length, or until it can actually fit around your cup, as I'm going to show you after this. Test this out and see if it fits around the cup. Yeah, so you're gonna chain about 26, or like at least 26 to 27 to make sure it fits nice and easy around the cup like this, because you don't want it to be too stretchy or too tight or too loose, too tight or too loose around your cup when you're making the chain, because you will just be working in rounds after you connect the chain, because you're going to connect it like this so it fits on the cup when you put it on, but when you use it to keep your cold drinks cold and your hot drinks hot. So yeah, just chain about 26 to maybe 27 with whatever hook size that you have, or depending if you're using a different yarn, different numbers of chains. Yeah, so for when I make mine, I just use mostly acrylic yarn because it's my favorite to use, and I just usually chain about 26 to 27 just to make sure that it's not too stretchy or too tight. So now I'm going to show you guys how I connect it, and then we're going to start the rounds. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I connect this. And yes, I am wearing my carpal tunnel glove because my hand is starting up, so hopefully this helps. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the first chain that you made, as long as you can see right there. Make sure you get those 2 loops, and you're just going to do a simple slip stitch. And we are going to be working into the back loops only because I feel like it makes the bottom look neater. So you're just going to do a simple slip stitch like I just did there. Then you're going to chain 1. And then you're going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch that you did a slip stitch in. And then you're just going to half double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around, but in the back bumps only. So in these lovely little bumps right here. Okay, so we're going to do a half double crochet in the same stitch you did a slip stitch in. Just like that. And then half double crochet in the next stitch in the back bumps only. Take a little time to get underneath those loops. Sometimes you have to really get into it. This stitch is not in a happy mood. And you're gonna pull up. And you're just gonna keep on doing half double crochets in each of the back bumps until you reach the first one you did. And then I'll meet you back up to show you what you're gonna do. Okay, so I finished doing my stitches. And so what we're gonna do now is we are going to go into that first half double crochet that you did, and you're just gonna do a simple slip stitch. Just like that. And then you're gonna chain one, and then you're just gonna do half double crochets in each stitch around for about, I'd say maybe 7 more rounds to have 8 rounds in total. So you're gonna do a half double crochet in the same stitch that you did a slip stitch in. Didn't want to come up. And then you're just gonna do half double crochets all the way around for 8 rounds. And then you're gonna join to the first half double crochet you did and do a slip stitch just like how I showed you here for each round you do. And you're gonna chain one like I showed you here for each round that you do. So go ahead and do half double crochets all the way around for 8 more rounds, joining with a slip stitch like how I showed you for when we started the next round, and keep on doing that until you reach your either the next 7 rows or until you reach like a desired height that you like for your cup, and then we will get to the handle part. Okay, so I am back with my 8 rows for my cup. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so now I'm going to show you how to start the handle. So we're going to do a chain of 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 14. And so now you're just gonna lie it down like this to make sure it's not too loose or too tight. So when you start your rows, that it's perfectly fine to sew it on to the cup when you're done. And it looks perfect to me. And so now we're not gonna work in these stitches right here, but we're gonna turn the chain over and we're gonna work on the back bumps only. So starting in the first chain, I know normally people say in the second chain, but I'm gonna start in the first chain. And we're just gonna do single crochets all the way down. I usually do single crochets for the handle because it makes it a little bit better for me. That way it doesn't use too much yarn. But I mean, you can do half double crochets if you want. But I usually like to do single crochets for the handle. That way it works up faster and it just looks nicer. But it's entirely up to you what you want to do. So we're just going to do single crochets all the way down, and then I'm going to show you guys how we're going to attach the handle to the cup. Okay, so I am back and I have done my single crochets all the way down. And so the way we're going to attach the handle to the cup is we're going to do 2 slip stitches. So we're going to slip stitch into this stitch and into the next stitch of these 2 stitches right here. So we're going to go in, pull up a loop, and just do a normal slip stitch. Go on the next one, pull up a loop, and slip stitch. And then you're going to turn your work, and then you're just going to do single crochets all the way down as normal for the next row. And then you will do a chain 1 at the end. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've now done my second row of single crochets and I've done a chain 1 at the end. So now we're going to turn our work and we're just going to do single crochets all the way down and then slip stitch into these 2 stitches here to connect the handle like we did for the first time. So we're going to just single crochet all the way down as normal, And then we'll just slip stitch to the cup like we did last time. And we will turn our work for the last time after that to do one last row of single crochets, and then we will fasten off. And I will show you guys that in just a moment. And if you ever have any trouble learning how to crochet, I have a bunch of short videos on my YouTube channel on the basics of how to start. If you have never ever done a project before, feel free to go look at it. It's very helpful. Okay, so I am done with my third row of single crochets. So now we're just gonna go into the next stitch right here, pull up a loop, slip stitch, and the next one, pull up a loop and slip stitch. Just like that. Now we're going to turn our work again for the last time. And now we have at least 3 rows of single crochet, and this is going to be our last row down this line. So you're just going to do single crochets as normal all the way down, and then you're going to chain 1 at the end, and then you're going to leave a long tail for sewing, and you'll fasten off. And once again, this tutorial is basically just a little recap of my very first tutorial that I ever made for my YouTube channel of my cup cozy. It's the first thing I ever made, and it's so easy to make, doesn't take too long. But yeah, this is just a recap of what I made before. So hopefully you like it. Okay, so I reached my last stitch, so we're gonna chain 1, and then we're gonna fasten off, which I actually already did a while ago. I just know how much yarn I have to do. I'd say like at least over a foot length, so that way you have enough to sew the handle to the cup. So now we're just gonna pull all the way through. And there you have our handle. Okay, so now that we have our handle all done for that part, now we are going to sew the handle to our cup. We're gonna lay it down evenly like this, and right where it's nice and straight, take this end right here where I'm pinching my fingers. And you're just gonna line it up with those stitches at the bottom. It should be at least 4 stitches that you're gonna connect to it. And we're gonna take our sewing needle, and we are just going to put the yarn through so we can sew this onto our cup. And so we are just going to go through, make sure it's nice and even just like that. So we are going to just go in towards this line right here, into the stitch right here. And we are just going to go right in like that. And we're just gonna pull through. Go into the next stitch here. So that stitch right there like that. Pull through. And like that in the next stitch. And just pull through. Alright, so we have our stitches all sewn up, and I usually like to do a second time of weaving in, of sewing the handle to the cup, because that way it's more sturdier. So we're just gonna go back into these stitches, and we're just gonna sew around it one more time, make sure it's nice and sturdy. So when you're holding your cup, it doesn't fall, it's not too loose, and it stays on there very tight. So we're just gonna keep on going into these stitches right here. Just like that. And it's going to be pulling tight. And one more time to make sure. There we go. And see, all nice and tight. So when you hold your cup or your coffee or whatever hot or cold drink you have, it stays nice and sturdy and you're able to hold it safely. And now we are just going to weave in our ends. So now what I usually do is I am going to go underneath these stitches right here. And I'm just going to weave in my string like this. Or I usually go underneath the half double crochet parts like this. Just pull that string first. And I usually go right underneath these loops here, just because they're a little bit easier to get to. And that way you can easily just weave them in. And don't forget to give it a tiny, tiny stretch out, but not too much, so that way it doesn't stretch out before you're actually starting to use your cup for your drink. And just weave them in just like that. Sorry if I'm too close to the camera. And then pull through. And then there you have it. And so we're going to fasten this part off just about right there. And then we'll weave in this part as well. Let's take that part off. So what I do for this part, I just weave this one end down below these stitches like how we did over here for the long one. And you have a cup cozy for your drink. And this little cup cozy is for any time of the year, honestly. It is a wonder. I was literally looking for a pattern for this and I could not find a very good one, so I decided to make my own. And it works a wonder every single day for myself. Doesn't matter what season, I use it every day. And you can use it every day if you are someone who is a coffee drinker, or even if you're an iced tea drinker. Doesn't matter what drink you have. It's useful for any type of season. Just gonna do that right there. And there you have it. You have your cup cozy all ready to be used for any type of drink you want. This can actually even work for like glass bottles. Like it depends on like if it's going to fit the size, which it should. Like I said, any type of year, any time of year, any type of drink. And there you have it, nice and finished and ready. So if you like this tutorial or you liked how I explained how it's done, please give it a thumbs up, like it, put something down in the comments of what you think of it, of this recap for my cup cozy, subscribe to my channel, and enjoy your cozy for any type of drink that you have. I'll see you next time.